Kyoto, Japan's cultural capital and home to countless Shinto shrines, Buddhist temples, imperial palaces and gardens, mesmerizing geishas, historical buildings and sites, and picturesque landscapes. We arrive in Kyoto after spending 5 days in Osaka. We spend the next 7 days exploring Kyoto Prefecture. Since dining option at Kyoto Station is abundant and our hotel is located just in front of it, we don't usually venture far for dinner. This Tonkatsu place, for example, became a favorite that we literally eat at this restaurant every second day. Fushimi Inari Taisha is the first attraction we visited in Kyoto. This Shinto shrine is famous for its trail of 1,000 red torii gates that leads to the sacred Mount Inari. It holds countless shrines dedicated to Inari, the Shinto god of rice. Foxes are said to be Inari's messengers, and statues of it are seen across the shrine grounds. We were quite famished after our hike and were delighted to find numerous stalls selling street foods lining the entrance of the shrine. We dived in for a well-deserved calorific treat. We took a break from eating Japanese foods that evening and found a Korean restaurant on the top floor of the Cube shopping mall at Kyoto Station. We feasted on some delicious Korean pancakes, savory sundu jjigae. We even made our own kimbap, which you can customize. And lastly, the main dish was hubby's favorite Korean dish, cheesy dak galbi. Arashiyama and Sagano is another must-visit district in Kyoto, famous for its bamboo groves, beautiful landscapes and temples, scenic boat rides, and much, much more. We spent a sunny and beautiful day exploring this place, enjoyed traditional Japanese tea while at it, and simply take in nature's beauty. This area of Kyoto is famous for its tofu dishes. Unfortunately, hubby and I are not really big fans of it. Luckily, dining options are abundant, and we curiously join a rather long queue of people patiently waiting for a table at this place. After an hour of anticipation, we were seated and served with mouth-watering and sumptuous lunch. This cozy little restaurant is indeed worth the wait. Dessert is just next door. I watch in fascination how my dorayaki, or Japanese sweet-filled pancake, is made from scratch. Hubby, on the other hand, enjoyed his banana and cream crepe. We then joined a small group of people in a scenic boat ride along Guzo River. Halfway through the tour, we made a short pit stop at a booth selling traditional Japanese sweets and snacks. Before heading back to the hotel, we visited our last temple of the day. Later that evening, we came back to our favorite restaurant in Kyoto Station for another round of delicious, crispy and juicy Tonkatsu goodness. The next day, we took a bus and drove to downtown Kyoto, walked past shrines and temples, witnessed traditional Japanese wedding, and crossed a scenic river. Our hotel recommended 3 restaurants that serve authentic Kobe beef, and we are lucky enough to score a seat at this particular teppanyaki restaurant. We splurged on a set lunch that came with a gray A5 Kobe steak, a soup, a small salad, seared scallops and vegetables, and lastly, some dessert. Our food was prepared in front of us, and we watched in fascination as our chef expertly cooked our meal. The steak was melt in your mouth tender and was very flavorful. It's definitely worth all the hype. We spent the rest of the afternoon wandering around Kyoto, joined locals and tourists alike, soaking up sunshine at the riverbanks of Kamogawa. Our leisure walk leads us to the line of old Machiya townhouses by Shirakawa River, a famous tourist and photo spot in Gion District. There are many hidden alleys in Shirakawa area. Seemingly hidden from the growing tourist crowds are cozy cafes. We visited one that serves the best shoe pastry I had in my life. It was bite-sized and filled with heavenly cream. It was delicious and so addictive, so we rang the bell and ordered another plate before moving on. Another must-try food item while in Japan is Japanese pudding. Velvety smooth and silky textured with a very subtle sweetness. We spent the rest of the day walking around Hanamachi or geisha towns, hoping to spot a geiko or maiko as they visit tea houses. We were lucky to see quite a few on that day. Just a friendly reminder though, please respect their space and don't block their way. Keep your distance. That evening, we checked out the ramen street on the 10th floor of Kyoto Station. For dinner, we have some gyoza and tsukamen, which is basically a ramen dish that consists of noodles eaten after being dipped in a separate bowl of broth. This is probably my favorite kind of ramen. The broth in this place is thick, savory, and rich in umami flavor. We purposely skipped breakfast the next day since we intend to eat our way through Nishiki Market. From savories to sweet, we fill ourselves up to the brim. Every single item we had tried that day did not disappoint. This is also a must-visit place while in Kyoto. We highly recommend it. Nijo Castle has a vast ground and impressive architecture. Surrounded by moat and made impregnable by thick walls, one can spend hours walking around its palaces and extensive gardens. A visit to Nijo's castle tea house is a must. Cocooned within a well-manicured garden, it offers a breathtaking view. We shared a slice of matcha cake and a bowl of sweet azuki red bean soup while relishing the garden's tranquility. Despite the numerous restaurants to try, Hubby insisted on going back to the Korean restaurant we ate at a few nights ago. So we went back for some sojus, kimchi, bajun, kimbap, and this time with a plateful of juicy samgyeopsal. It's our last day in Kyoto and our Shinkansen leaves at noon. After checking out from our hotel, we simply explored Kyoto Station. We marveled at its contemporary architecture. Not knowing if we could come back, we visited our old-time favorite Tonkatsu restaurant one more time. My mouth still waters every time I remember this delicious pork cutlet. Hubby opted for a pricier Wagyu katsu and was blown away. Ikeben, or bento boxes, are sold all over Kyoto main station. Snacks and souvenirs are also available for travelers. This Nikuman was our last chow before saying goodbye to probably my favorite place we visited in Japan. I hope to come back to this amazing city in the future. Once again, thank you Kyoto for the unforgettable memories.